Rather close. A little closer. Now come close and I'll tell you why my spirit haunts this place. Most people don't think of Colorado when they think of the Civil War, but that is where my story begins. I am a Picori Indian. My name is Maria de la Luz Montoya Duran. Yes, I know it's a mouthful, but that is really my name. Maria de la Luz Montoya Duran. When I was just 8 years old, the U.S. Army met us at our borders. Our entire family, they were there to fight the Confederates. The battle lasted for over 3 days. We were frightened. Back in those days, Native Americans were thought of as savages. They were taken as slaves. The women were taken from their villages and used at the enemy's will. Why, my own husband's first wife and 2 children were the victims of biological warfare. They died of smallpox. So you can see why I was very frightened. Then I met the most interesting name. His name was Juan Jose Duran. Now, Juan Jose was a Union soldier. Oh my goodness. He rode his horse like he and the beast were one. He wore a silly weathered hat tilted to the side, and under that hat was the reddest hair I had ever seen. His eyes were like turquoise, and he had a French accent. I married him right away. I had to. He won me in a shell game. Now, we settled the homestead right there on the Santa Fe Trail. Now, my Juan Jose, he led a very full life. At the tender age of 12, he traveled from Tennessee all the way to Colorado with the Bent brothers. On that wagon train, he met Kit Carson and joined the Army. He even fought at the Battle of Fort Adobe. Then he settled down with me, our 5 boys, and became the deputy sheriff of Trinidad. Now, one day, Senator Barilla came from New Mexico to speak at a rally, and this fair-haired man came out of the crowd, just out of nowhere, and he shot the senator right through the mouth, right there in front of everybody. My husband, being the law-abiding man that he was, apprehended the criminal. The crowd went crazy. They didn't understand the laws of this new land. They wanted that gringo hung right now. My husband drew his gun, and he said, if you take one step further, I will shoot you not through the mouth, but through the heart. And he took that criminal to jail. And would you believe that fair-haired man was acquitted? Senator Barilla's men wanted revenge, and I guess they got it. Because in 1895, my Juan Jose was poisoned with strychnine. I raised our boys all by myself. And then one day, my son Jesus brought home the most beautiful bride. Her name was Eva Baca. She was the daughter of one of the wealthiest men in Colorado, Geronimo Baca. Now, I knew she was from a wealthy family because she didn't know how to cook or sew or clean. It was horrible. Now, when Geronimo Baca found that I, Maria de la Luz Montoya Duran, was a Picori Indian, he disowned his very own daughter. And to make matters worse, my son took to the road. He loved to ride his horse just as much, and to be honest, he had a case of wanderlust. I don't know how many grandchildren I really have. Even though he had wanderlust, he came around enough for he and Eva to have 3 children. And of those 3 children, his son Felix built a tavern right there on the Santa Fe Trail and plowed it until corporate farming made plowing disheartening. Now, here's where my story turns to Pueblo. Mind you, I have a Southwest family. There will be a lot of names to try to keep on. Okay, now Felix moved his family to Pueblo so that he could work at the steel mill, and he instilled in his children education. his daughter Madeline went to Washington, D.C. and created the education curriculum for overseas military families. Then her brother Tom worked for the Civil Rights Division for 33 years. He still walks Pueblo today with the cowboy hat on his head and the Bill of Rights in his back pocket. His brother Isaac was the youngest city councilman and ensured that the Lower East Side got their streets paved. His sister Jerry taught a great deal of Puebloans how to read and write. If you can read your program, you should probably thank her. Now, their brother Frank gave his life in service to this country on June 14, 1966 during the Vietnam War. You can find his name etched in the Veterans Memorial alongside Pueblo's other heroes. And their little sister Ida became a developer. And you can see her handiwork right here in these condominiums around Lake Pueblo. And you can also see them in Angelo's and Mugsy's and the Smith Barney building as well. So you see, even though my story did not begin here, it certainly continues here. And my descendants in their Picori blood keep working in Pueblo to make it more beautiful. Now may the Great Spirit travel with you, but be careful, for there's a ghost in every corner.